Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me wherever you are around this beautiful planet. We live in a world of polarity, duality, and contrast, which means that for everything there's an opposite. And so it is for all of our experience that there are goods and bads, highs and lows, things we like, things we don't like. And the contrast serves to help us learn. But if we get stuck in the dark side of the contrast, we don't really learn and grow. So the idea is to evaluate all aspects of what we've experienced, take the best, and leave the rest. I was coaching a woman who told me that she had been married for 10 years, had a couple of children, and then gotten divorced. She said, well, I guess I wasted 10 years of my life. And I said, whoa. Let's not jump to that conclusion, shall we? I said, did you love him when you married him? Yes. Did you have a pretty good marriage for a while? Yes. Do you love your kids? Yes. So I said, why deny the blessings of the relationship just because it ended? It didn't really end, it just transformed. I asked her, did you learn and grow through the process of divorce? Oh, yes. Would you make the same mistakes again? Oh, no. So I said, the joys helped you to feel happy and the challenges helped you to learn. So it really wasn't a failure after all, was it? Well, I guess not. A friend of mine once said that all experiences in life exist for only one of two purposes, either to enjoy or to learn from it. And in some of my seminars, I asked the audience, why did your marriage fail? And people raise their hand, well, we grew in different directions. He cheated on me. It wasn't a smart marriage to begin with. Then I say, that was a trick question. Because I asked you, why did the marriage fail? But what if the marriage didn't fail, it just ended? Just because something ends doesn't mean it failed. Failure is an interpretation, not a fact. So you're in a job for 10 years and then you change jobs. And I asked you, why did that job fail? Well, it didn't fail. I did the job for as long as I was supposed to do it and then it ended. You live in a certain town for 15 years. Well, why did that residency fail? Well, it didn't fail. It just moved. So to say, why did your marriage fail? Just because it didn't last forever doesn't mean it failed. It means that it fulfilled its purpose for the season of your life in which you participated in it. You've heard me say before that all relationships exist for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Reasons are quick encounters, seasons are long periods, lifetimes are lifetimes. And so just as spring comes and goes and winter comes and goes, there's a season for many relationships. And when the church says, till death do you part, there are different kinds of death. Physical death is but one. You know, if a relationship dies, it's dead. Old Chinese adage, if your horse dies, get off. And really, relationships don't die, they just transform. You're always in a relationship. You just may not be living together or married, but as you well know, even after the divorce, you're still in a relationship. At least if the person's in your mind, you're in a relationship. So let us not be quick to write off something because it doesn't fail according to our mind's expectation. According to Spirit's expectation, it was a glorious success, even if it, quote, ended. Course in Miracles tells us that what you consider to be some of your greatest triumphs from the ego standpoint are actually abysmal failures spiritually. And what you think are your deepest retreats from the ego standpoint are actually big successes, meaning that if you have a challenge or a quote failure, and you learn from it and grow from it, and you wouldn't make the same mistakes, and you move to higher ground because of it, it was a huge success. It was a fabulous learning experience, so don't write it off or poo-poo it because it didn't end up how you thought it would end up. Not many things end up how we think they're going to end up. Spirit usually has a better idea for how things are going to end up than we think. Now the same goes for spiritual teachers and trainings and organizations. Very often people will go through a study with a guru or a mentor for a while, and then you leave, or you discover there was some flaw, or there's a scandal, or something was revealed about the teacher or the organization that sheds a negative light on it. A woman told me that I studied yoga for many years with a very good teacher. He had passed on, but the teachings continued. And then some information was revealed about him that was derogatory. What should I do? And I said, well, everything has its good points and its bad points. And I said, did you learn a lot from the teacher? Oh, yes, a wonderful teacher. Did you gain from participating in the organization? Yes. Do you feel like the organization generally has integrity? Yes. Okay. Well, why not take the best and leave the rest? No teacher organization is perfect. Everybody has some flaws or errors. We all make mistakes. We're in the world. We're human. And so just because a teacher makes a mistake or is not perfect doesn't give you an excuse to make them all wrong. Now, if somebody has deep ethical issues or they're doing things that are illegal, immoral, or hurting people, that's one thing. But if a teacher organization is generally good and generally helpful, and you discover something's wrong with it, don't shift your focus to the one thing that's wrong and then make that the truth about the organization. That's not true. Nothing is entirely wrong. Someone once said that even a clock that is stopped is right at least twice a day. So things that seem to be wrong can actually be right. And sometimes if you leave an organization or a teacher, the process of leaving can be as educational as the process of staying. You have to build muscles. I know somebody who was involved in a very strict kind of dogmatic religion, and he decided to leave because he outgrew it. And he then became a teacher and helper for people who wanted to leave this religion gracefully, or they had left and they were trying to adjust, even though the religion was putting tremendous pressure on them to stay. This is like a cult. He was helping people make a graceful segue into their new life. So the strength that he built in leaving something he had outgrown, he actually passed along and had a kind of a ministry or service to help people who are going through the same process. And so if you leave something, it doesn't mean that it was a mistake to participate or that it failed. Maybe it was a stepping stone. Maybe it was your next right step for that period of time, and then you outgrew it. So let us say not that you left in a huff, but that you graduated. Or let us say you graduated from that marriage or that relationship. It didn't fit you anymore. And so, life is not static. You may have noticed that life is always moving. And if you get stuck in something and you're afraid to leave it just because it was comfortable or it did work for you, be careful. Someone said that a rut is simply a grave with the ends knocked out. So it's easy to say, oh, I've been in this for so long, why would I want to leave? Well, maybe you outgrew it. Maybe it's a lifetime thing, maybe that works, but maybe also, okay, maybe it's time to leave. Life goes from higher to higher to higher. John Lilly, great dolphin researcher, once said that all belief systems exist only to be transcended. So, we enter into smaller beliefs and then we leave them, go to a bigger belief, leave it, go to a bigger belief. And I once went to a museum and saw a display of shells of, I don't know what you call it, ocean creatures that built a shell around it. And so this little creature spun a shell, and then it outgrew it and it slipped out of the shell, and then it grew a bigger shell, and it slipped out of it and grew a bigger shell. So there's a series of these shells on display that conceivably one creature had lived in for a while and outgrown it and built a new one. And this is what life is, really. We go from smaller shells to bigger shells. There's still shells. Someone said that the initials of belief system are BS, because every belief system is not the ultimate one. You may think it's the ultimate one, but I guarantee you that whatever you think is your ultimate belief system now will not be. There's always a bigger ultimate belief system. And someone also said that the word belief includes lie, B-E-L-I-E-F, includes the word L-I-E, which means that any belief is somehow limiting. And this is why the best beliefs take you beyond them. And this is why real meditation gets you to drop below your beliefs. Beliefs exist in the mind and the intellect. But there's another state of consciousness that goes deeper than the intellect. Some people call it the still small voice, or your center, or divine nature. There's different names for it. But if you've ever really meditated and you drop into the quietude, the real quietude, there's no beliefs there. You just are. And there's a wonderful lesson in the Course in Miracles, I think it's 189, where it says, today, go beyond this course. And so the only real good, the best belief system teach you to go beyond it. The Course in Miracles does not even want you to get stuck in the Course in Miracles. It says raise your consciousness to a space that actually transcends this course. So that's what a good belief system does. It ushers you to higher ground. And so let us look back on all of our experiences and claim the blessing that they bestowed upon us. The Course in Miracles also says, all of your past is gone except for the blessings it has left you. So can we not say this about our relationships and our marriages and our teachers and our friendships and our organizations and our religions? Don't get stuck stewing over what went wrong or what's wrong with religion. Yeah, there's plenty of things wrong with religion, but there's plenty of things right with all trainings. Even cults or restrictive religions or belief systems, they contain some truth. People join cults because there's an element of truth or gurus that they're attracted to. Otherwise, there would be nothing attractive. And let's say you get involved and then you discover the dark side and you choose to move on. Well, why deny the truth? Because there were some illusions that were surrounding it. Take the truth with you. Leave the illusions behind and take the truth with you. Then you win. Bless the experience. Bless the truths you gained, and bless the muscles you built through moving on. So in that sense, as my friend said, everything is either to be enjoyed or to be learned from. Everything is a gift. Course in Miracles also tells us, all things are lessons God would have me learn. And sometimes we learn from the joy and the pleasure and the celebration, the creativity. Sometimes we learn from the hardship, but every single experience has the potential to take us to higher ground if we're willing to go there. Well, I sure hope this has been helpful to you. I really enjoy meeting with you each week. Thank you so much for all the comments you post. And I love you all very much. This is a great group. I'll see you next week.